Let's be real. Your home is probably the biggest investment you'll ever make. And keeping it looking good on the outside, that's not just about curb appeal. It's about protecting that investment. But, not all cleaning is the same. Today, we're going to break down what separates a quick, maybe even damaging clean from a true professional job that keeps your home safe for years.
All right, so what's the game plan? First, we're going to expose the hidden costs of those quick cleans. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of protecting your roof and gutters. After that, we'll talk windows, getting them perfectly clear. And then we'll give you a super handy hiring checklist. And finally, the one single question you absolutely have to ask any contractor. I mean, it's a pretty startling question, isn't it? But you have to ask it. That super cheap cleaning service might look like a steal, but if they're using the wrong methods, they could be causing damage that'll cost you a fortune to fix later on. Let's get into why.
Okay, so think of your home as this big, complex system. Everything's got to work together, from the roof all the way down to the foundation. And you know what the number one enemy is? Water, especially when it's not being managed the right way. And that's exactly where a sloppy cleaning job can turn into a total nightmare.
It's wild when you think about it. Water that just pools around your foundation can lead to damp basements, cracks, even big structural problems. A botched roof cleaning? Hello, leaks. It all comes back to this one simple fact. The method is everything. Doing it right isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely essential.
So, let's start at the very top, your roof. It's your home's first line of defense against the elements, but it's also one of the most misunderstood parts of the house. Those dark streaks you see, or those little patches of moss, they aren't just ugly. They can be a sign of trouble if you don't handle them correctly.
So, what in the world are those black streaks anyway? Well, it's a type of algae with a fancy name, Glyocapsa magma. The Asphalt Roofing Manufacturers Association, we'll call them ARMA, they say it's not actually eating your roof. But it does look terrible, and it can make those energy-efficient cool roofs way less effective. So yeah, it's mostly an aesthetic thing, but it does have consequences.
Now moss is a whole different beast. It's not just sitting on the surface. Moss is a plant, and it grows under the edges of your shingles. This literally lifts them up, creating a perfect little doorway for water to get in, and it makes your shingles way more likely to get ripped off in a storm. This is where you get into real, serious damage.
And this right here, this is probably the most critical thing to understand. You should never, ever let anyone use a high-pressure washer on your asphalt shingle roof. It literally blasts away the tiny protective granules. It's like stripping the sunscreen right off your roof. A soft wash, on the other hand, is the right way. It uses cleaning solutions to kill the algae and moss, and then a gentle, low-pressure rinse to wash it away. It's the only way to do it safely. In fact, ARMA, the official roofing association, has a recommended method. It's pretty simple. A bleach and water mix, you let it sit for a bit, and then you rinse it off with low pressure. Any pro you hire should be following this kind of safe, science-backed process, not just blasting away with brute force. Okay, so your roof is sparkling clean. Awesome. But if all that rainwater has nowhere to go, you've just swapped one problem for another. Your gutters aren't just a decoration. They're the highways that carry water safely away from your house. And they have to be totally clear to do their job.
And what a real professional gutter cleaning looks like is way more than just scooping out a few leaves. A true pro will get everything out. They'll flush the downspouts to make sure there are no hidden clogs. They'll check for any damage. They'll even test the whole system with water to make sure it's working perfectly. And, of course, they clean up the mess they made on the ground.
Okay, let's move down from the roof and talk about windows, getting them totally streak-free. It seems so simple, but anybody who's tried knows it can be maddening. The devil's really in the details.
Oh yeah, we've all made these mistakes. Using paper towels, you get lint everywhere. Cleaning in the sun, the solution dries too fast and leaves streaks. And if you don't wipe the dirt off first, you can actually scratch the glass. Pros have this down to a science, using special tools like squeegees and microfiber cloths to get it right.
But here's something that drives homeowners crazy. You spend a whole Saturday cleaning, or you pay a pro, and some of your windows still look foggy. It's like, what gives? Was it a bad cleaning job? Well, maybe not. And this quote from a professional really hits the nail on the head. That fogginess you're seeing, it's not on the outside of the glass, and it's not on the inside. It's between the panes. And no amount of Windex is ever going to fix it. It's called a blown window seal. See, modern windows have two panes of glass with a special gas sealed in between for insulation.
When that seal breaks, moisture from the air gets inside and fogs it all up from within. A real professional will spot this and explain it to you, not just try to clean it over and over. So, we've seen the right way to clean and, well, the disastrously wrong way. So, how do you make sure you hire someone who's going to do it right? This is where you, the homeowner, get to take back control.
This is what you're looking for. Someone who's focused, who has the right safety gear, and who's backed by the right paperwork. This isn't just some person with a ladder and a pickup truck. It's a legitimate business that's protecting you, your property, and their own team.
The Contractors State License Board actually gives us this fantastic checklist. Before you hire anyone, check their license. Ask for proof of insurance. Seriously, this is non-negotiable. It protects you if someone gets hurt. Get a few written bids, get a detailed contract, and please never pay a large job entirely in cash. But more than anything, a real pro is an educator. They want you to get it. They want you to understand what they're doing and why. Companies like Downey Window Cleaning, for example, build trust because they're totally transparent. They put the health of your home first, not a quick sale. And that brings us to our final and, honestly, our most important point. How do you cut through all the noise and find one of these true pros? Look, you don't need to learn how to soft wash a roof yourself. You just need to know enough to tell if the person you're about to hire actually knows what they're doing. This knowledge is your power. It's your shield against bad work and expensive damage. So you've got a contractor standing in your driveway giving you a quote. What's the one question, the one single question that's going to reveal everything you need to know about them? It's that simple. Just ask, can you walk me through your process from start to finish? A true pro will light up. They'll be happy to explain how they work, why they use soft washing, and what they do to protect your plants and property. Someone who's cutting corners, they'll get vague or defensive. Their answer tells you everything you need to know. Just ask that question, listen closely, and you'll be able to hire with total confidence.